Hi, my loves. Welcome back to Vanity Fair. My name is Chris Farah, and today we are having a very, very fun little conversation about 90 Day, The Single Life. It's season 5, episode 4, The Act of Breaking Girl Code. Now, I rewatched the Liz slash Pedro conversation, and it's like I feel there's two ways of looking at it, and Julia almost feels that way too, and we'll get into it. So, how are you? I hope everyone is good. It's been just a lot of TV watching on my end. Traders, Love is Blind, honey. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. We've been doing it, obviously. There's fun new docu-series come out. The Oscars are happening. Just a lot of pop culture things to take our mind off of what's happening in the world. It's not great. I don't even know how to talk about any of that. So that's why I decided to throw myself into this podcast. And I have been for the past couple of years. It's been crazy. However, holding space for all of that exists there. God bless it. I don't know what to say. However, here we're talking dumb stuff and then some deep stuff, deep and dumb stuff. So this is the single life. And certainly I know that all too well. And so I'm a professional. And I'm excited to talk to you about this. And also, I feel like, girl code, feminist theory, the political infrastructure of female friendships. She knows a thing or two. Well, should we start with him? It feels that way. Okay, here we are, honey. It's really right now the combined storyline of Pedro. It's obviously Pedro and Sophie is one part of it, and also maybe Hot Doctor. And then it's also Liz and Julia just there for comedic relief, but also I really enjoyed Liz's kiss with Villa. So there's all that happening. It's like it feels like a little like Chekhovian style mini play happening. So here we are. We start off on, Pedro gets to, or Pedro gets to, I don't know, I'm calling him like that. Pedro gets to have a full on 90-day reunion with Nicole. And I'm excited about that. And so are you. The thing about Pedro's family has always been here for TV. Now, here's the thing. Chantel's too. I mean, that's what they got a whole ass spinoff because I feel like production saw that like people would give. Like if they needed it, they would step up. It's like having a first cast of a bunch of Meryl Streeps of reality TV drama. It's like they're going to go physical, they're going to scream. There's drama there. They hate each other. They don't give a fuck. It's all that there. There's like a lot of toxicity. And like, here's the thing: if you scream on camera with your family, I don't even know how you assume you're going to get past that. Like, season 1 of Chantel is like should have been the end of their marriage. Like, like for I don't know why I did that. For all intents and purposes, once that shit happens, there's no coming back. There's not coming back. I mean, put a fork in them. So, and they battled a little longer than that. So he's like, I don't know what to do with that Sophie, honey. I've been putting it out there. And then Liz told me to like kind of back off. And also she's healing. Also, like, maybe she's not ready. And also, like, I'm dumb. Also, like, I don't feel like Liz did. I feel like Liz was like, okay, she knew in her heart of hearts that three things were true. Sophie was getting a mild ick from Pedro doing too much. And the fact that she also wasn't 100% into him as much as she really loves male attention. And for a period of time, he was giving that to her. He's a good looking guy. And the coincidence of the fact they just happened to be on 90 Day Fiance was just, I guess overwhelming for them. So I think that Liz, was like, well, I don't care about him. I care about her. But that is the truth. Those things are the truth. So with him, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, buddy, like, listen, no, she likes you. She's just, she's still healing. She's still doing it. So just be a little patient with her. Just be a little like slow with her. So she gets on the same page with you because, like, I think this is a good thing. It's just that don't be mad at her for not being 100% like salivating because she's gone through this kind of stuff. Like, to me, that's what Liz meant. And that's not at all how it was portrayed when, Sophie heard it. And obviously later on, okay, so here we are. So before I get there, obviously, so we get to see Nicole, and Nicole is wearing this like green flowy ass beautiful number, honey. It's so cute. It has this like wrap around that goes through the titties. The titties look great, and she has what maybe is like a Shih Tzu or Lhasa app. So she rolls up with these like Chloe 70s glasses. They're like square. She looks great. Um, I know, I keep saying that. The braces are off, honey. She's also a beautiful girl who, a woman now that, we've seen grow up or whatever. Listen, is she dramatic and is she like over the top and is she like wildly screamy? Of course. Of course. But I just really feel like she signed up and understood the assignment. You know what I'm saying? Like so anyway, listen, they show us her before and we're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And so when we see her again, we're like, oh, God bless, you know? So then Pedro's like, okay, let's like go hang out. And he's like, do you want to take her for a walk? Cause she's like, this is my new dog, Soul. And Nicole's like, oh, no, 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 no. She doesn't like to walk. And the way that Soul gives a back glance, like, not ever. You do not put me on this floor. These paws don't touch gravel. I'm a carrying dog. I'm a princess. Like, you hold me. And so like, this is what's funny. Then she gives Pedro the dog. Pedro tries to walk the dog. The dog is like, pick me up. So then it's just like, this dog is great. And she hate it. She hate walking. Oh no. She doesn't like to. She hate it. I mean, I like walking, but that dog does not. Oh, what a little princess. What a little poofy princess. And also like Nicole, good for you. There is something about I think there's something about a girl like that getting a poofy princess dog, and then maybe this is also me projecting on it, in that you've always wanted to be treated like a princess and you can't get it 100% for yourself, but there is the healing process of doing that for someone else that you get to make a little pretty princess. It's like, okay, fine. If I can't do it, you can. You'll have everything, my daughter. So anyway, and it's like safer than kids to do that too. You know, just putting it out there. Okay, so basically, Nicole comes with a whole bunch of wisdom, not just like a beautiful green suit. She's like, listen, you've been telling me about Sophie, and she seems real young. How old is she? And they're like 26. She's like, oh, she's a little girl. She's really immature. She's not a woman. You need a woman. She doesn't know what she wants, and confused people hurt people. Here's the thing, brother, and I've seen it before with you because you fall hard and I don't want to see it again, but you are just at this point collateral damage. And she's right. She's right. She's not wrong. He is. Sophie has always like made it. I feel like there's no part of Sophie that's like, this is my husband, or I'm going to treat him like I think that he's special, or that, I think that I'm lucky to be with him. Not one part of that. And I do think that maybe there's a nice feeling that one gets when someone meets them and it has interacted with them and considers themselves lucky to have the opportunity to. And by lucky, it's not so much like I'm better than you. Not so much like this person's so much better than me that I should be lucky to talk to this person. It's more so like, in this world, I would like to find companionship and love. And oh, look, I have a burgeoning connection with someone that I find attractive, and let's just say whatever the attraction. You could say physical, mental, lifestyle attraction, all of it. Religious, whatever. Let's just to me, if you do want a relationship and you happen to find someone who's checking a lot of boxes in a real way, like, why wouldn't you put like truthful energy into pursuing that, unless you're not, and unless you don't like them. Like, if you are like, whatever, I just want attention, or they're checking a couple of boxes, or I know intrinsically some part of me that they're not for me, but I want to waste their time, or I want to waste their money, or I want to waste their energy, or I want, whoever knows, I want to waste their, I want to have sex with them, but I don't really care about them. Like, then you will drag someone along, and you will, energetically not be giving, right? But I think that, yeah, I guess I don't understand other than you being like, no, sometimes people just need a lot of patience and you have to be there and mold them like a diamond, and under pressure, they just start to like crumble. And then you have to like wear them down and then they become, like a sad version of what they were. And then you can be with that sad, settled version. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, horrible. So all that to say, I don't think that Sophie's into, him. And I feel like Nicole knows that. And that's basically what she's telling her brother. And she's right. And good for her, because like good for her. Liz, however, is having like the romantic date that everyone wishes they would have, and she's having it. So I'm so happy for Liz. Liz is like obviously going through a little, I mean, not a little, a health crisis. It's fucking cancer. It's not little, but it sucks for her. And so this has been her kind of like girls trip that's also of course being sponsored by 90 Day Fiance, which also is just mildly weird because we knew that she wasn't really good friends with Sophie, and almost immediately now Sophie and her at odds, and it makes me feel like shitty because I like, like there's no reason to not like Liz, and Sophie, it has good and bad qualities. Like Liz's bad qualities is that she was with Ed. And we were like, gross, and also why, and also like what is why and gross, and then Sophie's bad qualities is that we don't know why she makes decisions as well, but like we sometimes think that she manipulates and or like isn't honest about things. Because the thing about Sophie that's hard to sometimes deal with is this. Sophie had a moment where she was like, I'm bi and I'm going to have to tell Rob who I'm with, and I like am scared about it or whatever. I don't want to take it. And she does. She's like, I'm bi. And he like takes it, whatever, God bless. And then later on a tell all, she like sexually kinkly shames him. Now, back and forth between her and Rob have been like abuse, weird videos and allegations. Like, Claire had like put up like videos of like him yelling at her, but like who knows what and all that. But yeah, like, if I was just to isolate the thought process of like being like, fuck Rob, he had a dick pic sent out to people and she's bi, it's just that sucks. And here's the thing, my good friend, Kirsa brought this up to me again, and I was like, yeah, that was really, really shitty. Like, she's young and she obviously comes, this is Sophie talking, my friend Kirsa is also young, but I'm going back and forth. My friend Kirsa, who I talked about on the episode before the 90 days, because I just got my hair done. We talked about 90 Day Fiance, so shout out both apps. She brought this up, and yeah, I remember it happening. And Rob has been on the franchise, obviously since went on Hunt for Love and whatnot, and they were on Last Resort. So the franchise is holding on to Rob. So the abuse stuff probably didn't pan out, is what I'm assuming, because they have lawyers and such, or she reneged it or whatnot, or because she got back together with him and so they were still whatever, and it was messy. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Claire is nowhere to be found. Now I'm saying Sophie is young, and what we know about her, been through some trauma, right? Like obviously Claire's face and voice and demeanor is indicative of the fact that anyone who had to be raised with her probably saw some shit, smelled some shit, dealt with some absolute fucking nightmarish bullshit. And Sophie could be, probably worse off than she is. Like, she's doing quite well for herself, and certainly I'm happy for her. And she's definitely attractive, and certainly in certain, like Instagram baddie ways. And like, just like as a woman, I would love her to probably feel a little more like confidence in herself. And I know that in some earlier seasons, she was like insecure about some things, and they really ripped her apart about her hair and stuff like that. And Sophie is always been a beautiful woman. And so sometimes we're like, oh girl, like, you're going to have to find happiness and like peace and joy in some place that isn't male attention and isn't like the way that you look and or like perfecting the way that you look, like to make people give you more of that. And then you know what? It's a real shitty thing, and it's a bad lesson to learn. And here's the thing, it's like a drug, like anything is, either attention or perfection or like plastic surgery or like being addicted to looking hot or getting validation or likes or even social media. Like all of that is like the ways in which we get validation is drug like inducing. And so no shame, she's not the only one, of course, but I would enjoy this conversation about how to hold on feet first into self-confidence, strength that isn't, you know, necessarily from outside sources. And I feel like if there was maybe concrete structures to learn and feel these things, like I don't know if it's like a version of like somatic and in theory where you really, I don't know. Oh, where you really get to like, I'm sorry, where you really get to like deep dive into how to feel these things and how to manifest them in yourself, like so that you don't go to bad behaviors. I mean, I'm assuming it's like some sort of meditation and some sort of like list of people and places and things that make you feel truly yourself. And it could be like, for me, okay, for me, like nature, and like some things are attainable all the time and some things are only like attainable usually in my mind or unless I'm given like $20,000 to go there. Like I love Manoa Falls in Oahu, in Hawaii. I can't always go there, but the thought of going there, and because I've been there like twice, I can like sort of envision it. So can you. It's basically Jurassic Park. Okay, right? I also love Jenny Lake. I've only been there once. It's like basically in the Grand Tetons. It's so beautiful. Like in America, it's like where Yellowstone is, kind of outside. And beautiful lake, gorgeous trees. I can sort of like, even though I've been there once, somewhat feel like the crispness in the air and the way that those pine trees smell different from Manoa Falls. Both places like wildly beautiful. The other place, and these are all my nature places, is like I went to a waterfall. I went chasing waterfalls, LOL, in Idaho. And for some reason, definitely being like next to a roaring, rushing body of water, like a waterfall, does something to me, makes me feel so good. It makes me feel like powerful in a way, like the power that I get. Sorry, I'll finish the sentence. It makes me feel powerful in a way that is better and more sustainable than, for instance, the power one can feel walking into a room looking hot as fuck and then having people look at them, or having like your intended suitor, the people that you want to look at you, if not the entire room, look at you and give you the various reactions, like whether they want to come talk to you, fuck you, be somewhat jealous of you, like, whatever it is. The water is just gonna like be there, hopefully, as long as humans don't fuck it up. And the other truth is you can probably find other waterfalls. But like if you are always like, I want to walk into bars with my titties out and like for my lips to be popping with like lip gloss and for men to be like hard penising right in front of my presence, there might just be a time when that doesn't happen as much as you remember it. And even if it does happen with a couple of guys, you aren't going to even feel it because it'll be a little less than when at one point it was like all the time. And it might even just be a different situation or a different city, but the like adherence to other people's approval of you is just so fucking fleeting. It just is. And so it's just, I'm going to stop talking about this. But it's like, if we're going to talk about this dumb show, might as well like relate it to things because like I get liking attention. It's great. It's nice, isn't it? Like it's nice to like be considered attractive, or it's nice to feel sexy, or it's nice to feel wanted. And I've never even felt it to the degree of someone who performs sexuality and femininity or hotness, or I'm not as hot as like someone like Sophie. So like I truly can't imagine the drug it is. All I'm saying is that I definitely have known hot women, and I definitely know that like certain things, like ebb and flow of whatnot. And also it's not so much that like, oh no, it ebbs and flows people's opinion of you and therefore change. It's like because at the very basic level, you are doing yourself an injustice. Like you are only shooting yourself in the foot. You are only setting yourself up for disaster. It's as if you are only, making money and just you would never make $1 into $2, $2 into $4 into a million, and then a million, keep going, a million into a billion, and then just keep betting all of your money on, oh 06 black. You know what I'm saying? Because no investor would. You would make an investor would be like, yeah, make as much money as you can on something and then start to diversify your portfolio. Once you have $1 million, start putting money on the reds or start putting money on different black numbers or play a different game as well. Have multiple things going, like don't be getting all your validation, all your winnings, all of your approval, all of your like treasure from this one thing. It would make no sense. No one would ever tell you that. It's just a fool's paradise for you to fucking be miserable. And also, if you're this is a financial metaphor, broke at some point, like because you can't always get it. It's statistically impossible to always win at one thing. And that's difficult for people, corporations, businesses, to learn sometimes because there is a beautiful stability and like adhering to your own value system and culture while having a flexibility and an acceptance of change and progress. That is why you have to be the type of person that value invests and diversifies your portfolios. And that is why you can't have all of your validation from one thing in life. So I don't even have to like I will stop talking about this, but it doesn't even have to be looks. Like you can't just like be the best painter and then never do anything else in your life and then only be happy if someone likes your paintings. Because at some point, one person's be like, I don't fucking like that. Now we're into blues. Now we're into like people made out of fairies, and then that's just the weird trend. And now you're what? You're not good? Obviously you are. It's just okay. Please. Liz. So Liz goes on a kayak date. And one of the first things that happens is she shows up this date and she has like no makeup on. She looks fresh as fuck and she looks beautiful. And Villa's there and is like, yeah, I got you some shoes. And she's like, oh, I didn't even know you needed shoes. He's like, I know. I know you didn't know. Well, that's why I got you shoes. And I think there was like a whole part of me that was like, oh, it's cute. Good for you. Nice. Also, yeah, you do need water shoes. For some reason, if you don't think if you're going to go to any sort of like tropical place and want to do something, anything, and even if you like have never considered it, get water shoes and they make water socks and both things are fucking great. You really can't go wrong. I love them. Okay. Water socks are basically hospital socks. Okay. They have the grippies. Okay. So she's like in this kayak with her grippy socks, her grippy shoes, and she's like living her life and it's like really nice. And he's strong and he's paddling behind her. He's like, let's go at it. She's like, okay, well, you're wild. Here's the thing. You have to like somewhat kayak at the same time. She's like, well, calm down. And she's like, this is different because Ed just liked the finer things in life. Steak, red wine. And I was like, well, I like a little bit of fucking both, girl. She's like, he does like cappuccinos and then we come home and have nightcaps. First of all, yeah, was that your like low key way of like trying to like pump up Ed as like a date? Like you're supposed to be like, Ed's such a fucking big spender. I mean, maybe because that's how he tries to keep someone younger. I don't know. Yeah, I think I need a little bit of both. Like I'm a high-low girl, period. And I would say that there's probably a more high than lows, I would say of like what I like. But at the same time, I like a sort of casual comfortness that comes to like something done well and like, with quality is what I would say. So, yeah, like I love nights in. I love like cooking nights, I love like rustic dinners and I love, as I said, nature shit. I just got telling you how much I just like would chase waterfalls for the rest of my life. But everyone also wants a glass of like French Bordeaux and like a steak that is like charred on the outside, medium rare on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a béarnaise sauce, it's on the side. So because the meat is so well cooked that you have both. Salt and pepper is only probably what it needs, but it does have a little butter and it does have a little béarnaise sauce on the side, like I said. Anyway, and there's just like a pot de creme at the end, whatever, God bless. It's butterscotch, but like you do you. Okay, maybe it's vegan, but like it's gluten free. Again, this is my fantasy. Um, they have a fun time and then they start to kiss and it's unexpected and it's super cute and she's shivering and it's like adorable and I like it. And then this is the first scene where I'm like, oh, you know what? I like the single life. Yeah, for some reason, out of all of this, because like even this episode, I'm not watching any of this being like, oh wow, what a meet greet. I mean, a meet cute or whatever. I kind of enjoy Kimberly meeting Joe later, but it doesn't feel maybe as like advanced or whatever. So in this single life moment, I'm like, oh, this kiss is cute and it's warranted. So then we get also the fact that she's afraid to talk to him about the cancer. God bless. And she had just literally been like, I just want to meet someone and hook up and like not know his name. And now she's like, oh shit, I like him a lot. Now I got to tell him my cancer, girl. It's hard out there. So then Julia and Sophie go to a bar and get a drink. And this is what's interesting. Like Liz knows she has to meet them later. She knows a bar to go to later. But at this point, also, Sophie has like gone for 24 hours talking shit about Liz to Julia, the only other girl there. Like it's just them two. And so it's like, this is shitty for Liz. So anyway, but Liz is a little late, God bless. She's like still shaking. She's still shivering and shaking nervousness from that kiss. She's really into it. And God bless. Meanwhile, I mean, Julia is like a companion mean girl in this moment. So Sophie's there and she's like, I just want to like forget about Pedro because listen, he forgot about me. He's pretty much ghosting me. And so now I'm into him and now I'm like upset. So I just want to be here and get some like other, what is it that I love? Male attention. I mean, good for her. Like Sophie's just like, literally all I have to do is just walk out, stand on a bar. I want it. She doesn't have to say it. She just says it internally. And then she looks over and like while Julia's talking, like blah, 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 she like makes eye contact with some dude. She's like, you. And she looks back. That guy immediately comes over. He's like, I'm sorry. Shut up, Julia. Hi. Shut up. Who are you? Hi, I'm a doctor. And you look like you're in need. I don't know, like, but that's basically what happens. It's a version of that. Now, is it, I don't know, at all produced? Is this real? Is he a doctor? Did he sign a release form to have his image on the TV? I don't want to ruin it for you, but I also want you to just like consider all possibilities. Okay. So then, sorry, I don't, okay. Basically, Liz then comes and, fucking Sophie just gives her a goddamn mean eye. And she's like, listen, hot dog, do you want to go to the other side of the bar? This is where it gets weird as fuck, too. This is why I also think it's produced. So then Liz is like, okay. And a confessional's like, Sophie's weird. And then suddenly Julia's like, doctor, I can't do her weird ass accent. She's like, just sit there for a second. We have to have girl talk. And then all the girls go sit at a table. And then, they talk about the fact that some dude is making them fight. Did you hear what I said? 3 grown ass women on vacation at a bar where they all look hot and there's yummy drinks, all have to sit at a table and fight over some stupid dude. That's why it's like not girl code or whatever. Like the truth of the matter is, if Sophie was giving the vibes that like she was into, him and like it was all working out or whatever, then like surely none of this would have happened. But because there was awkwardness, now she really does want to, as Liz says, use Liz as like a scapegoat for her relationship being on rocky ground. I'm team Liz. Because I also just feel like Liz just wants to have fun with the girls, like sort of like Julia does, like except that Julia's closer to Sophie, and so like Julia feels again the loyalty pressure. And the thing about it is Sophie and Julia are funny and cute together, like, and I feel like Liz could be as too. Like it makes me sad when Sophie isn't secure enough in herself and doesn't have the emotional maturity to like be able to show us the fun parts of her and her life on camera without us being like, you're kind of, you're a little wah wah as a personality. You can't like hang your hat on Sophie. She's just gonna like ruin things. Kind of. That's what it feels like. It feels like she has a propensity to be great, except she like ruins shit with her own life. And then she like doesn't want to take any accountability for it. And she like, never changes. And she has a soft voice and she's cute. And so that beguiles. And we also know her trauma. The fact that she also might just be a vapid mean girl that knows she's hot and wields that power. and because she is, like I said. But that's why I gave that whole fucking lecture, because I'm happy for her. There's a lot of lovely women out there that are young, that are hot. And so, like, please just diversify your portfolios. And yeah, it's not just money, although truly make money. It's really the way, like the ways and fountains in which you like feel good about yourself, and you just know how to always get it, hit it. If things are down, you like know, like, this is a way I can create this, I can make this, I can, whatever it is, touch waterfalls. Okay. So the other thing about Sophie is when Sophie speaks Spanish, where she's so good, we're like, see, that's cute too. God, like, it'd be cute if you were just watching you flirt with, if I got to just watch this be a single girls trip where none of the girls fought over any guys because they were all single, but they all had found different guys. Like, Julia's just there anyway. God bless. She's not gonna be a funny guy. But like, if they had found their own dudes and they were just living their lives and come together and be super cute and also like have fun kikiing about things, it would be adorable to watch. Like, I want to see Liz and Sophie get a little tipsy together, and like Sophie speak, Spanish, and she's like pretty good, like when I say pretty good, I'm sure she says she's not fluent, and I'm not saying she is, but like she speaks a passable amount of Spanish, in you're surprised by it, and she, gives proper accentation. Like, yeah, like that's the great parts of it. Okay. Uh, okay, Vanya. This is a very small part. I don't have to tell you. So we're in the middle of Vanya being like, "Oh, dude, that should have no chance in hell. That is the sweaty, weird dude that I think is my best friend. That like continually gets a more stained, gross, smelly shirt, wetter and wetter as the scene progresses, has the audacity to tell me that he's not into me, and I'm just going to like be like, oh, okay. And then he acquiesces and he's like, well, I just really don't want a label, so if we can just continue hanging out and I make you feel good and we see what happens, I'm okay with that. And then she's like, oh, okay. And we're like, that's it, Vanya? That's enough? We don't want that for her. We don't want it for us. We don't, we are like, you're crazy. I'll go back. Listen, dude, find someone else. I don't know, Vanya, please. I don't know what it is. It's interesting. I think that you would have to consider if Vanya wants to find someone that like loves and gets her from the get-go, or whether she wants to explore energetically, like some shifts. Like, for instance, my friend is doing Reiki right now, and I'm like wondering what that means. In the sense, I know what it means, like an energetic healing situation, but I wonder if for some people there are some, you know, clogged spots, or like some areas of confusion, like, or some somatic or nervous system healing, or some sort of like energiness that like needs channel work or something, because Vanya feels like such a loving, open-hearted person that has like a lot of love to give, and she's doesn't seem toxically insecure where she's going to be like needy of someone in a way that it's just like, I just want a best friend that hang out with and love. Like, and maybe she's a little loud, or maybe she knows she's a little intense, but like that's fine, like that's fine. My other part of talking about the like energetic healing or the channel stuff is, you never know, and this is what I'm literally wondering out loud, if there are unseen things either to you or your body or your nervous system or your trauma work or something that keeps you from feeling something in the present moment that would clarify who would be a good and or better match for you, and vice versa. And or if there's something that blocks other people from seeing your true heart because of, said thing. So at this point, like when we come to single life, I would love to like see people working on themselves in the pursuit of dating, if that's what they're doing, which I'm assuming they are, if this is called the single life. However, having said that, I certainly would love one of the characters on 90 Day the Single Life to be just like fully like Tim Gunning it, being like, yep, single lifing it, not dealing with anyone. Fuck them. I'm either celibate or I'll just do whatever, but I'm not trying to date. I am single and like I am choosing this and this is what it is and this is my single life. I would love that too, because it does single life does feel like a catch-all for whatever they want to do. People who can't be unhappily ever after and aren't signed up for the competition of hunt for love or whatnot. So yeah, I hate that for Vanya, but let's move on. Kimbali, honey, we start, and I have a lot of pictures just spraying herself down with that Victoria's Secret razzmatazz. I don't know that, just like it is berry. It is maybe vanilla noted in one or two of the notes, probably the bottom. It is all over, it's being sprayed in her bosom. I'm looking at all her products. I'm taking it in. She's like, you know what? Not bad for 55. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. And the next scene is that we get Kimberly walking fabulously in this like white linen two-piece number into her friends. We'll meet them, Laura and Jody's bash. And they have fun bashes. They're always throwing a fun party or two. This is a hula. They got these lanterns. They decided to both wear matching white triangle top spaghetti strap dresses and necklaces. They look very OC. I like them. I like these women a lot. And by the way, I would totally go to their parties. These parties look fun. Like, this looks like a single party, Like, in my mind, when Kimberly was like, these are my friends, I was like, is this a singles party? Like, is this a matchmaking party? Because look at these two. I mean, if these two have been in business together, these two have like a party planning business, or there's something happening. You don't come with those matching dresses if you're not coming to fucking make money. I mean, like on TV, I'm happy about them. I like them. So basically, Kimberly is getting set up. So there's a guy named Joe. And Joe, I don't know why I said Joe. There's a guy named Joe. And Joe is really nice. Kimberly's heard about Joe. Joe is a little lovely gentleman. I don't know why I say little. We don't know exactly how tall he is. All we know is that he is considered a short king in Kimberly's eyes. Underneath Kimberly's 5'9". So and I'm 5'8", so I get it, girl. I get it. And but Kimberly's open to him, and here's why. Joe appreciates Michael Jackson. So win-win-win. She's like, "Oh my god." She went from being like, "I don't know about Joe. He's nice. He's kind of a little short," to being to like once he's like, I like Michael Jackson. I've always loved Michael Jackson." She's like, "My short king. My short king, my liege." She's like so into him. I'm like, "Oh my god, I love it." Also, the what Joe says about Kim Bali is like cute. Is like indicative of someone who has spent time with her and is actually reading her personality and like is part of the process, because like she first meets him and I honestly am always like, well, some things feel set up and some things don't. I do feel like this is being mildly set up, and I think those two women are involved. But however, I do feel like Kim Bali is into him. When she first meets him, Joe comes in and he's wearing this like blue shirt, and they lay him with a matching blue lay. Like, that's obviously the theme. They know what's happening. And so as that's happening, he says, I feel better now. And then Kimberly, having watched all that, she's like, well, you got laid, so you should feel better now. Well, yeah, Kimberly, that's what he just said. And the way that she said that was indicative of someone who was instantaneously nervous and kind of just said some bullshit. And then probably either her mind was like, what did I say? Yeah, it's the same thing he just said, which is true. Again, he gets laid. He goes, I feel better now. Well, you just got laid, so you should feel better now. Yep. Like I said, upon getting laid, that I do feel better now. Like, Okay. But I love Kimberly. I'm just playing around. She is super fun. She's snappy. Like Kimberly's always been a good time. Like it's fun to hear her talk to people. She it has a good personality and it's always apparent. Like it was apparent with Soldier Boy. It's funny the thing about Usman is that we met Usman again before with someone else who had a shitty personality, and we were like, okay, well, this is their situation. And then later on, we meet Kimberly, and we're like, well, this person has a really great personality. Now we all know that Usman is whatever he's been on the season, and at this point, we assume that Kimberly was a fan of the show. This is how we first meet her. Obviously slide into Usman. We're like, why, Kimberly? Why? But then as the season goes on, she's funny and she's smart and she like keeps in the show. And we like her relationship with Jamal. They kind of like are sassy and funny back and forth. Like they have she's funny in life. Like she's a witty, entertaining person. And the truth of the matter is, not a lot of people are on this show. And even people that are don't always lean into it or unabashedly okay with it. They try and lean into some other things. Like, for instance, Jasmine is funny, right? Like, but Jasmine has so many other issues that she leans to, like her craziness or the grabbiness, or I don't know what she wants to like pretend with Matt, or the alopecia or the body modif. Like, there's so many things with her where we can't like hang her hat and be like super entertained by her at all times. But Kimberly is a sort of like reality star that is, and I say star because of multiple seasons, like where she is okay just being herself and letting things be exposed, and is very real, and has baggage, but also is an entertaining, fun person, not weird. Not like you would anyone having spent time with her in a waiting room for like 5 minutes, if she felt okay to talk, was like happy to have that interaction. And you can't say that like about anyone else. Like, can you imagine having to be in a waiting room and have like an interaction with anyone else? Like, you would just be like, oh, can't wait for this to be over. But Kimberly would be like, okay. Like, I would also have an interaction with Chloe and be like, okay with it. I'm trying to think. Um, I'm trying to think. I want someone who has like a snappy personality, who's like witty and like going to say something funny. And also, if I say something funny, is going to enjoy it. And there she is. Okay, so basically, Joe knows it too. So Joe's like, I'll tell you, she's just like a breath of fresh air. She's full of life. And we're like, yeah, Joe, she is. Good clock, Joe. Oh, Joe, you've been paying attention. Yeah, Joe, you're not like just some weird actor. Like, because Joe could have been like, I like Kimberly. She seems nice. And we'd be like, oh, Jesus, do better, producers, But like what he says about her is in fact her. And they like, cut to be shots of her being incredibly lovely at the party. And you're like, yeah, exactly how Joe feels being in her presence. Great. So then we get this part, and this part, honey, is just diabolical. Okay. So then they put up fucking a limbo stick and they're like, Kimberly, your turn, honey. How low can you go? And Kimberly's like, okay, I got this. I got this. All right, ladies, let's do it. And she brings her friends to do it. And then as all of these biddies go to do a limbo, Kimberly just pretends that she can just duck under it. Kimberly just ducks under it. Like, doesn't do any sort of back bend, doesn't try to do like the neck thing. Like, look at Jody. I mean, look at Laura. They're just like, doing the thing. One of these women, I'll tell you which one. Jody the brunette looks just like Lynn Spears. I'll show you again. Oh, maybe not that picture as much. This picture, she looks kind of like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. And then this picture looks like Lynn Spears. Yeah, I mean, girl, Kimberly, that's not how you limbo. You can't just like, oh, yeah, let me see if I can do it. I won. I mean, the way that Kimberly also celebrates having barely ducked underneath that limbo stick and done it obviously the bad way, while those other women at least had the due diligence to like slightly lean back as if she, honey, just won gold at the Olympics in 2026. I mean, is babe. No, Kimberly, you gotta, that's how you, the way that you limbo is this. And that's the point of it. If anyone can do what you just did. Anyone does that. You thought the part of limbo was just duck underneath the stick? Who can duck underneath the stick? I mean, God bless. If you're in, this is feels a little like nursing home style. I mean, God bless. Okay. I get it. So basically After that, Joe's like, "Can I walk you to your Uber?" And she's like, "Yeah, I live in the boondocks." I'm like, "Okay." And then as she's walking out, her friend is like, "Oh, have a good night. Have fun out there. Be safe." As if they're gonna go home together, go somewhere else. And Kimberly's like, "Shut up. I'm going home." It made me happy. Okay, so one more Coops Badoops left. And by Coops, I mean person, Gino. I mean, this is a painful watch, isn't it? It's hard for us to like have to deal with this situation, and yet I don't know why I have to talk about it. So I'm gonna get through as many of the cringy parts so I can get into like the more talkable parts. Gino's there, and Gino's like, "Hey, what do you think of my toes?" And Natalie's like, "Absolutely fucking not shit about the toes." And he's like, "Would you?" Nope. He's like, "Suck my nope." No, shut the fuck up. She's like, "Don't even say it." And he does. So, he is wanting to bait people. I feel like this is what's happened. There is rage bait, right? And it feels like Gino's producers use AI and they're like, come up with Gino rage bait scenes. And they're like, okay, what we know about Gino, toes, bald, weird when you have to do sexual stuff or when he likes to be touched. Like it's like they have a grab bag of these weird Geno games, and then they're like, well, what can we like shake around and put up for this episode? So after the toe fiasco, he's like, for out of fucking blue, he's like, hey, well, let me tell you this. So obviously he was supposed to sleep on the couch, and in the middle of the night, he like got an inkling to join her in her bed, and she's like in her heart pajamas and their flannel, and she like allows this, and then they just cuddle all night. Okay. Then in the morning, he's like, I have really, I got dry skin, so can you put some lotion on my back? And she's like, yes. I'd be like, no, what you can do is get like, however you get the lotion on your back to usually happen, you can do it that way. Ugh. You haven't even showered, so why do you need lotion right now? Go take a shower first. We put lotion on top. Like he's in his shirt. I just don't like it. So basically, she's like, I'll tell you what my plans are today. I'm going to a friend's potluck. And he's like, well, I came to visit you, so I guess those are my plans. She's like, well, you have to make something. And I'm like, well, what are you making? I don't know what she's making. Now, here's the thing. We go to the friend's potluck and we get there. At one point, there looks like there's a baby stroller outside, just like hanging outdoors. Now, I know there's probably not a baby in there, but you also might know that in Sweden or Norway or some place like that, like some cold place, they have this thing where they just put babies in strollers outside and just let them literally chill out there. I don't mean to laugh, but like that's I think like a cultural thing. Like it's just a thing where like, it's like go freeze the baby outside. Like go get that baby a little cold. Chill the baby. Just the baby needs a little chill. Just like don't let the baby back in until those cheeks are red, honey. Just like make sure there's a little frost on that little nose, like make sure there's any little spit up. It's icicled, and then you can bring the baby back in. I know there's probably some beautiful reason why, like health reason, like cold plunge, but for a baby and the air, I can't tell you, but just when I saw that stroller out there, made me think of that. Okay, so they get to the place and we're like, okay, potluck, and this is what we see. So there's these dudes like with various tie-dye colors of black, white, and gray around a table, and there's like plastic bottles of alcohol. There's like a huge thing of tequila and three sad off-brand electrolyte drinks. Not even Powerade. I mean, the saddest. And that's what they're drinking. They're drinking mixed drinks with that. Like, oh no, what kind of potluck is this? This is like here's the thing. Okay. Okay. I love potlucks. Like, I think it's so fun to like, like bring one thing over to like a group. If you're going to bring one thing over, then just make that one thing good. Like, if your thing is mixers for drinks, like, don't bring that. Sad. Also, there should be more. It seems like there's more people there. Okay, God bless. So then, but we also okay. So then we get to this shot, and the shot is Gino and Natalie going to her friend's house. Her friends have very cute pants. I love these like like curvy derby pants. I like like on a high waist it has a belt. He has his, I guess, bounty for the party. I still don't quite understand what she's bringing, other than the same bag we saw from her daytime outfit, which is a no go. It's too big of a bag. That's not a daytime. That's a daytime bag. That doesn't make sense for like a nighttime friends potluck bag. Okay. So we find out what Gino brought. Gino's like, I used to be a short order line cook, so I'm going to bring ham and cheese sandwiches. Okay. Now here's the thing. A grilled cheese with ham is like a whole ass thing, very yummy. Like, you can literally like, make it a croque monsieur, it's like all the fancy versions of that. But like, yeah, like a grilled cheese with ham or grilled cheese with bacon or like tomatoes in it or whatever fun thing, like that is yummy. No, you don't ever make that a bunch of them for a potluck. Like everyone knows for a potluck, you make usually if it's a dish, food dish, one big version of it, or like, like a thing that is shareable in such a way. But like, yeah, I mean, that doesn't make any sense because you have to, arrange a bunch of like things that are hard to do immediately at someone's house. And here's the thing. He prearranged what looked like slices of bread, and then he put the cheese and ham together and the cheese melted. Now, we're like, where's the problem? He thinks you have to fry the ham in the non-stick skillet. Now, all of us are like, bitch, put the buttered bread into the skillet and then put like, the cheese and the tomato in there and just keep flipping it and make that sandwich like that. You don't need to like fry the whole ham. The ham's going to get heat from cooking it. Like that makes sense. But no, this asshole decides to like put his weird wet cheese whiz product and the ham right on that pan with no spray, not nothing. And it's like burning. And then he puts it on the bread and then he feeds it to these nice people who are like, I'm so sorry. Is there one wet condiment in the house? Is there a mustard? Is there some mayo? Is there salt and pepper? There's nothing on here. This motherfucker, he is disgusting what he makes. Everyone's so weirded out. Melanie is weirded out. Melanie is her friend. Melanie's like, let's talk. I don't know if I can do with this. And so she like starts talking to him. And Gino does this thing that Gino does a lot. Gino likes to talk and then later on, like 10 seconds later, realize someone else heard the words from a different perspective, and the perspective is that he's a weird asshole. So basically they're talking and he's like, yeah, I really like Natalie. Is she dating anyone? He's like, yeah, she's talks about other guys, but she's never, brought anyone over. It's nice to meet you. And she's like, are you talking to anyone? He's like, well, yeah, because of, the TV show, the famous TV show I'm on. All the women in the world know that I broke up with Jasmine, and so they're all in my DM. So yeah, I talked to all of them. It's basically what he says to Melanie. That's what he says. And Melanie's like, what? Oh, so you just thought, he's like, well, I don't meet up with them. Yes, he does. He's just like, yeah, but just people hit me up on the IG. I talk to them, of course. I love and hate the fact that they won't say the fact that he's like a famous person on the TV show, right? Because it's just like the idea that's like, well, some people know that I broke up with Jasmine, or my ex, so they're in my DMs. Because that's why they're there. Because yeah, most people would not touch you with like a 10-foot pole. That's why you had to like go on these sugar baby dating websites. I mean, I can't imagine him his whole life having to like go on those kind of websites to get like any sort of attention and then suddenly getting some attention sometimes because women want to be famous. And that sucks. Like there is moments in which gross, weird men get power and then they get to like wield it, and it's just horrifying. I just wish it would happen to me. I wish I would be a gross weird man. I wish I was a gross weird woman. Maybe if I am, then at some point all I'm saying is that from how I'm seeing the world works, I get to have a comeuppance and then wield my power in a way that is like my vengeance on this world. Okay. Can't wait. Okay. So just okay. Um Oh, I just realized that's kind of like basically when he says that to Melanie, and then Melanie's like, "Yeah, I hate him," and so then she goes and tells Natalie that she fucking hates that man. Natalie's like, "I just want to see what he's like. He's so charming," and Melanie's like, "I don't know what to tell you. If you continue dating him, I lose all respect for you. He's disgusting." Girl, no. Have you ever had any of that happen? I have. I've had someone pretty much tell me like to stop dating someone because they don't like that person and they'll lose respect for me. I'm not saying I did or did not do it, but it's such an interesting thing. I mean, especially maybe yeah, like I think that it happens across the board. Like, I think that anyone can do it to anyone, like someone who you either crosses boundaries or you feel super close with, or maybe you ask or whatever. But it is such an interesting thing, like the way that we want people's opinions over who we are dating and in the ways in which we don't care. Oh my goodness gracious. That is the end of the app. However, it doesn't have to be the end of us. You can absolutely follow me. I'm at Chris Elfera on all major social medias like Instagram, like TikTok. And make sure that you go subscribe and like to my YouTube. That's real fun. However, you also could give me money, and I would really consider that. It's my birthday. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's my birthday. This is what I want. You can either do something free, or you can, I guess, give me $5 and join my Patreon. Or you can just wish me happy birthday. But here's the free things, and I really don't need them. I mean, I don't. I want the money. I do need the money. But whatever you want to do for me is enough. You are enough. I'm enough, and I really appreciate you being here. But it is my birthday. Okay, it's Pisces season. It's my birthday. It's also my dad's birthday. My dad's turning 75. I had to plan his birthday, and I barely like put together something, cobbled something together for myself. Who knows who's even going to show up for myself later? Oh, as long as my dad works out, it's fine. However, yes, March 7th is my birthday. Please follow me and subscribe to, Patreon, YouTube, like my page on Facebook, Chris Farah, join Vanity Farah on Facebook. If you go to Instagram, just like share all of my posts or whatever. Go on Reddit and tell people how much you enjoy listening to the podcast or me. Those are all the free things. If you want to give me something, you can do. You don't have to, but this is my Amazon wish list. Other than that, we're gonna do what we usually do, which is feel a moment of respite, presence, and then be on our merry ways. Okay. 2 breaths, present moment, giving ourselves a little bit of peace. I like that. It's my birthday, so, it's going to be a great week for me. And I get to, in this moment, bring my mind with you all, in theory, to this present time and enjoy sensorially how I actually feel. Thank you for that birthday breath. All right, baby boos, take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. And I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you even sooner. Bye.